This is a real crisis in this country.
Measuring the air quality means a lot to me.
The way that different communities experience different burdens. That's why measurement is so important. This is the Aclima mobile node, the specialized sensing hardware that we've developed. Measures all of pollutants that are regulated by the EPA. We also measure greenhouse gases. So it's a unique platform because it measures both. And then it's like a laboratory on board with a computer. It does the analysis. We do, process all of the data with algorithms.
In the car?
In the car. We make measurements every second, sends them to the cloud every minute. About 1 billion measurements a week.
With your fleet?
Yes.
So how many are there like this?
There's a lot. We lose count.
Yeah.
And we have our own hardware. We also deploy on third-party fleets. So fleets that are already mapping, fleets like Street View. The Street View fleet is deployed globally.
Like Google Street View?
Mm-hmm.
So you have your equipment on those Street View vehicles?
Correct, yes. Yeah, so it's on board for the ride as Street View vehicles are taking imagery.
How did you come up with this idea?
Yeah. So I graduated from law school, really wanted to understand why do we have this the situation that we do globally with increasing levels of CO2, and why isn't anybody really pulling that back? What are the levers that help us change all of this? When you look at the laws, they rely on measurement, but we don't have enough measurement to really understand what's happening at the local level. We don't have transparency. If you could put on a set of X-ray goggles and look out the window, you would see black carbon coming off of that truck. You would see CO2 levels spewing from these freeway corridors.
But it's all invisible.
But it's all invisible. And so I did have sort of this eureka moment where I said, gosh, if we could make all of this visible, if we could really understand what all of those sources are and see CO2 levels on the ground, that really had huge potential to drive change.
Why are we driving this particular route?
Right now we are driving through West Oakland, and this is a really important community in the Bay Area. It's one of our most impacted, disadvantaged, and environmental justice communities that is hit really hard by many different sources of pollution because of land use decisions that were made due to historical redlining, where all of the major sources of emissions in this area were actually placed in proximity to Black and brown communities here.
I grew up in West Oakland. A lot of people get asthma, and sometimes the doctor may tell them, it might be in the air. So they know someone's doing something trying to help that.
There's two major freeways in this region. There's the 580 and then there's the 880. And when the 580 was built, they actually banned trucks from that freeway. And so they designated the 880 as the place where all of the heavy duty trucks would go through. Well, this freeway goes through primarily Black and brown and underserved communities, and communities that are faced with, more challenges. And so we're adding on this additional burden of one of the worst sources of pollution for human health going straight through their communities day and night, all the time, generating extremely high levels of pollutants like black carbon, but also pollutants that are impacting the planet like CO2. Here's the science, here's the data, now we can do something about it.
Knowing that I'm doing something that maybe can help, and I feel good about that.